Today, I'm going to show you how I made this music video by just using Grok and Pika.
Looking over the edge, it's a long way down, and you're way too close to turn back now.
All right, so all of these effects were created by starting with an image over on Grok, and then I brought it over and actually went and I got Pika Pro because I realized that the first level of Pika that you pay for still has a watermark on it. So I felt a little upset with Pika on that. I thought it was a little bait and switch, but they're doing a really good job animating these videos. So altogether, I'm still happy about it. And one of the things I want to talk about are these different levels of Pika. I know Raj mentioned this before in his videos that there's Pika Turbo, there's Pika 2.1, 1.5, 1.0, and you know what? The differences in these, they actually matter a good amount in terms of, how quickly it takes to generate these, but also really what matters is up here, how many credits you have. So they use different amounts, and 2.1 I think uses like 35 or 40 credits per, whereas Turbo, it's super quick, does a really good job, and uses I think only about 5 credits per. So that way I can have a lot of scenes in a single music video and not hit my credit limit in a month so quickly. So one of the things I'm taking away from here is the fact that Turbo really does a good job when you give it the right prompt. But there's some other times where it struggles. So I want to go over that really quickly here. So first of all, let's go step one. I told normal Grok, so this is Grok Auto down here, not Grok Visualize. Hey, this is what's up with my band. Here's what this song is. And it's kind of a heavier song. It's got a topic, about, walking to the edge of a cliff and jumping. So it's a little bit heavier. So I didn't want to have all my images be like dream world and hyper realistic in the ways that DALL-E does. Grok is a really good option for image creation that's real, and you can get a little bit kind of gritty or darker with it. And so I used Grok to give me prompts on how to use Grok. So, they gave me some ideas, some concepts. I went back and forth, said, hey, this sounds good. Can you give me the image descriptions? And it did exactly that. So then I went on over to Grok for the image, and I put in the image descriptions, made some modifications based on what I was looking for. And what I love about Grok is it gives you 4 image examples every time, so you can kind of tell if it's on the right direction. And I was like, these are good, but I want it to be a little more nighttime, a little darker. So I ended up going with a couple of these, so that's really good. And then I wanted just some more images of this person walking up to the cliff. So as you could see from that video I showed you earlier, there's a few of them here that I did end up using. So I would go through and save those. I gave it some other direction of some other perspectives. And then this one's really where I wanted to actually show the protagonist's face. And I was like, all right, these are okay, but it's still a little too light out. So darker and stormier, I requested. And it went to a previous prompt, so I had to give it that whole prompt again. So Grok is a little bit funny to work with sometimes, but you learn the workarounds. So then I asked again, darker and stormy, and then here's our main protagonist's face that we saw in the video. So I thought that one was crystal clear. Honestly, if I'm looking at it quickly, I could not tell a difference between a real person and an AI-generated image right there. All right, so I wanted some more just like the first image, and then I said I want some more with this exact protagonist and uploaded the guy's picture, and it didn't really do that too well. So Grok struggled a little bit there, and now I wanted some pictures to make it look like he was actually dangling off the cliff, and this one, I think it kind of struggled. It kept showing the hands on the wrong side of the cliff, not dangling off. I had to be very, very particular to try to get the right look for this, so it took quite a few times, and then finally I got one that looked like somebody was dangling off the edge of the cliff. So this is one that I might update a little later in the video. I'm not 100% happy with how it came out, but I did get the image I was looking for. So, and then I wanted some resolution ones, maybe just a little bit of sunlight coming in that he's walking away from this situation, and then I was working a little bit on a concept for the chorus, so I didn't quite get that far yet. So anyway, all right, I found a few images that I liked in Grok. Now I'm going to pop on over to Pika. So first I tried Pika 2.1, the top one, and the first one, it was 1 for 1. It was one that I really, really liked. So this was a person, and I just said, show a somber video of this person walking up to the edge of the cliff, and it only just started with an image, and then it ended up giving me what I thought was a really, really natural looking kind of struggling person. They're a little bit uneasy. There's some big waves coming up from underneath. Boom, I thought Pika nailed it on this one. So, all right, I moved on to this one, and then all of a sudden the protagonist is different. His hair is going, his boots looks a little funny. He's wearing jeans where before he wasn't wearing jeans, so I didn't end up using that one. So, all right, here's one of the ones of the person walking. So I just wanted them walking towards the camera, and then this person was too happy. Look at the way they're throwing their arms around. You see the protagonist's face a little bit. So I was like, no. Show the person walking towards the camera, but they need to look upset. So it's a walk of somebody who's not sure of what they're going to do. And I was like, man, this is an abstract bit of feedback to give it. How's it going to handle this? And honestly, it did really darn good. So you can see, they got their hands clutched. They're a little bit unsteady with their gait. I really thought it nailed, the awkwardness of the scene pretty well. These ones, not too sure. I wanted the character kind of looking over the edge, but I feel like his movements are a little unnatural. This one as well. I used a little clip of this in the video, but I'll probably end up removing it. Here is where I noticed a big difference between Turbo and Turbo 2.1. So here, I wanted to have this character struggle to climb back up from hanging over, dangling over the edge of the cliff. And it didn't do it. The hand looks really funny. It's like a weird looking fist and it's shaking. The water doesn't look natural behind him. I was like, no, this isn't happening. So is this an example where, all right, Turbo's not going to cut it. Let's go up to 2.1. And then if you look at what 2.1 did, it's a little better. This hand's a little bit weird, but I was able to, some of this is usable. The water back there looks more natural. The motion looks a little more natural. He's struggling a little more natural outside of just hands. And we know AI can't quite get hands right, but there's some usable there. So this one here, I just wanted them to, there were some boots in the beginning of the shot and I wanted it to look like they were turning around and leaving, but it didn't really animate the rest of it. So again, I didn't really run with it. So out of this, and then I'm working towards a concept of the chorus, and this one is a little too hokey where everything else feels real. So I'll keep working with it. But bottom line is, what did I make? 9, 10, 11 of them here, and I ended up having about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that I really liked. Yeah, so I mean, that's what's going to happen at the end of the day with AI when you're creating videos, is not every one of your outputs is going to be a winner, and you got to work with the prompts to try to figure out exactly which ones are going to work really well. But when you got a few that are in a row that, look like this, and we're able to get some real natural looking movement and emotion on his face, pretty impressed by that. I'm pretty happy. And, one last thing. This clip right here is different than the rest. I actually used my image-to-video tool in my video editing program for that one. And that one was actually able to get me a better result. So, again, sometimes we use a little from column A, sometimes from a little from column B, but it's all about being creative in the choices we make. So, yeah, so if anybody has any questions about this, please comment in the video, like and subscribe. Rosh and I, we talk all things AI every Monday. We talk for about 20, 30 minutes and talk all the latest topics and strategies about using it. And yeah, we are the Creative AI Show, and we're two creative guys talking AI.